Hey guys, good morning. It's Joe, and it's time for a Pocket with Joe. I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on this freezing cold, up this way at least, a Saturday morning. I hope you guys are warm where you're at. A funny story. So I asked a kid to shovel my walk, paid him $10, and I just looked outside. He left like this much, like 3 feet of the sidewalk in one spot, all with snow. I don't know why. I don't know what he was doing. So got to get out and shovel that after we're done here. But we got lots of games on the ice today, you guys. I'm excited for it. The first game is kicking off at 1 o'clock Eastern here. We have the New York Islanders taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Now the Islanders coming in as the favorite here on the money line, minus 137. Plus 114 for the Detroit Red Wings, and we have a total that is at 6. Sorokin expected in goal for the New York Islanders. He comes in here with a 2.03 goals against average. Huso expected for the Red Wings. He's got a 2.17. Both of these teams are playing strong offensively so far this season, with the Islanders averaging 3.73 goals per game, and the Red Wings 3.1. Now, they're getting their shots on goal for the Islanders, coming in here getting 33. The Red Wings have been limited on their shots, being held to 28.4 shots on goal. Now, defensively, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the Islanders, only allowing 2.45 goals per game and 31 shots on goal. And we have the Red Wings coming in here, averaging 3.3 goals per game allowed defensively and 35.1 shots. So I think their edge really does go to the Islanders here. If I had to take a side in this one, I would be rolling with the Islanders on the money line. They're 8-3 in the last 11 meetings over the Detroit Red Wings. I think you could look at save shots on goal for both of these goalies right now. My book still didn't have it up right before we started this show, so I left it. I think the under is strong in play too. That total of 6. I know I've taken some of these unders with the New York Islanders. It's kicked me in the butt. Both of these teams have the firing ability, but I see this one staying under the total. 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in Detroit to that under. The next game on the board, you guys, thanks for joining me, by the way, for Pocket with Joe on this college football Saturday. Great games in college today. So those have already kicked off. We've got a 2 p.m. Eastern matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, this one's interesting. These two teams did play last night. The Avs came out and got a 6-3 win. Now, this is happening in Finland. That over was easy last night. I think we do have another higher scoring one. This total has gone up to 7, though, and rightly so. Hopefully you got it earlier at 6.5, because I definitely think the value was on the over 6.5, but now at 7. I don't love it. What I do love here, though, is we look at situational kind of edges where teams have the ability to pull off the upset as an underdog. And now, while I do think the Colorado Avalanche are the stronger team, I really do think there's an edge here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, their goalie coming in today is a native to Finland, Korpisalo, I believe you say his name. Now, this will be his first start of the season here. He has an average of 4.15 goals against him. So I do think we're going to see a higher scoring game if the Blue Jackets can pull this off. I'm going to sprinkle on the Blue Jackets here on the money line, because you guys know I am insane for that plus money at plus 215. I can't say no. But I think you can look at the Blues team total over 2.5. Francois expected for the Colorado Avalanche. He's got a 2.17 goals against average, 3.07 goals against average. But I do think in this one, we see just the tired legs as well as the tired bodies for both of these teams as they had to travel all the way to Finland. So I think we got a higher scoring one. The Columbus Blue Jackets allow 4.4 goals per game defensively and 34.5 shots on goal, and the Colorado Avalanche allowing those 3 goals per game and 33 shots on goal. So with this game being in Finland, I got to ride that over. The Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5 if you can get it without too much juice. And I'm going to sprinkle on the Columbus Blue Jackets here. Now, you could look at the Avs in the first period, strong trends towards them in that first period, but I'm going to stay off it. I really think there's a little bit of a storyline edge for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's look at the next one. 3 p.m. Eastern today, the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Winnipeg Jets. Now, let's make sure the lines haven't updated. We're looking at plus 190 here for the Chicago Blackhawks, minus 235 for the Winnipeg Jets here at home. The total has dropped from 6.5 down to 6 in this one. Now, this is an interesting one. The Blackhawks have struggled against Winnipeg. I think the strongest way to go with this is the under. I don't see the goals really flying in this one. Connor Hellebuyck has been phenomenal for the Winnipeg Jets. He is only allowing an average of 2.34. We've seen him in some of these games getting those shutout wins standing on his head. The defense for the Winnipeg Jets has been strong as well. They're only allowing an average of 2.7 goals per game and 32.3 shots on goal. So a lot of the weight coming on Connor Hellebuyck here, but I think against this Blackhawks team, they're going to be able to be strong in this one. We saw what the Blackhawks were able to do versus the Kings in that last game. I'm really surprised and shocked with what we've seen out of the Blackhawks without Seth Jones. Next man up situation has really happened there. I expected them to struggle defensively without him. This team has actually been stronger, which is a weird combination to say. Now, they are allowing those 3.09 goals per game and 34.1 shots on goal, but they've been strong, averaging 3.09 shots or goals per game. Unlimited shots. Teams are really limiting the shots that they have the ability to get those shots on goal at 25.1. So when they get these shots, they definitely are getting it in the back of the net of these goalies here. So it's going to be a good game, you guys. Blackhawks are 1-4 in those last 5 meetings versus the Winnipeg Jets. So 2-7 in the last 9 meetings in Winnipeg. And when we look at the Winnipeg Jets, a 4-0 in the first period at home following an overtime win. So there is some value taking the Winnipeg Jets in the first period on that puck line, and they've won their last 6 as a favorite. So for myself, I think the best bet, the only way I'm going to go with this one is taking the under 6. I think we've got a lower scoring defensive battle on our hands. For the matchup at 4 p.m. Eastern between the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, this game is going to be crazy. Now, Edmonton coming in as a favorite at minus 162 on that money line, plus 134 for the Dallas Stars, and 6.5 for the total. Not very often you see the Dallas Stars as such a big underdog. This team is 7-3-1 on the season, 3-2-1 on the road, 8-3 on that puck line, 4-2 on the puck line on the road. Facing the Edmonton Oilers, who are 7-4 on the season, 6-5 on that puck line, 4-4 at home straight up and on that puck line. Both of these teams have been playing absolutely phenomenal. Scott Wedgwood expected for the Dallas Stars, not Ottinger. He has a 3.28 goals against average. This team has really been stepping up on both sides of the puck. They're averaging 3.64 goals per game and 30.6 shots on goal. They're allowing 2.27 goals per game and 31 shots. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, we all know the Edmonton Oilers' biggest issue year in, year out is goaltending. They started Skinner in their last game. In this game, they're starting Jack Campbell. Now, Jack Campbell meant to be the #1 goalie. I think there is a little bit of doubt in him. I have doubt in him as well. He's got a 3.09 goals against average. We need to see him come to life. Now, defensively to this team, it's their Achilles, what is that? Achilles, whatever that saying is. I'm drawing a blank right now. They're allowing 3.27 goals per game, 34.6 shots on goal. They have to start limiting. They have to get these block shots on goal. They're not doing a good job that way. They're not giving support to their goaltenders. I feel for the goaltenders in Edmonton because this is the story of this team's life. They have such talent on this team. Offensively, so elite with their top lines, but defensively, they're just not stepping up. We need their defense to really step up in this one. So while I lean to Edmonton because it's home ice, because you look at the Dallas Stars trends as well. The favorite has won each of the last 10 games between the Dallas Stars and whoever they're playing. The favorite comes out. The book knows when to make the Stars an underdog. Not very often does it happen. The Stars are 61-28-1 in the last 90 meetings versus the Oilers, though. Home team 4-9-4 in the last 13 meetings. So home ice is advantage. What I'm going to do in this one, we saw the Edmonton Oilers blow a lead versus the Predators. That was a 7-4 loss in a game that they were up, they were winning. I would look at Edmonton in the first period, come out strong in that first period. I think there is value there. But what I like better is some prop bets here. Now, my favorite prop bet of this one is Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers. You can get his shots on goal over 3.5 at +126. Now, we look at him in the last 2 games. He had 7 shots on goal in both of those. The 2 prior to that, he had 4 shots on goal. 2 prior to that, I believe it was 5. He is getting these shots on goal. I was shocked with the Dallas Stars allowing these shots on goal, allowing 31 shots on goal. Zach Hyman's going to have a strong day here. So take his over 3.5 shots on goal. Best bet for this game. I can't touch it any other way. I think this is a really hard game to call because both of these teams are so strong and elite. This is going to be a complete battle out on that ice. If Jack Campbell can step up, I could see the Edmonton Oilers pulling off this win here. It's all going to rely on what their defense and goaltender can do in this game versus the Dallas Stars, because this is a hard one. I just want to say a big good morning to everyone out there. Gil, you're right. Let's make some frickin' money today. Stevie, thank you for joining over there on Facebook as well. So you guys, yeah, this one, it's a head shaker. It really is. But I think Zach Hyman is the best way to get value in this game. I couldn't believe we're getting him at plus money at over 3.5. Okay, Arizona taking on Washington. The Capitals are the favorite here, minus 275. Let me just make sure that hasn't updated. No, minus 315. They're a huge favorite over the Arizona Coyotes, and rightly so. This Coyotes team is absolutely struggling. They're allowing 4.3 goals per game, 37.1 shots on goal. Their defense is terrible. They're coming in here off a loss on the road. They have struggled versus the Capitals, going 3-7 in the last 10 meetings. Kemper expected in goal for the Washington Capitals has a 2.35 goals against average. This team is struggling still to get the goals. They're not hitting over 3. They're at 2.75 goals per game, 27.9 shots on goal. So they are being limited, but defensively, they're only allowing that 2.83 and 32.1 shots on goal. Now, they've lost their last 3 games. This should be a nice get-right game for them. Now, on the puck line before, minus 1.5 was minus 120. I think you're going to see those odds have shifted. I would be looking more at the under 6.5. I really struggle to see the Coyotes scoring. Look at their team total. Take the Coyotes team total under if you can get any value in that as well. I just don't see this team who's being limited to their shots on goal at 23.1, being able to, with such little shots, get this puck past Kemper today. So Arizona's team total, take it under. Take the Washington Capitals for a nice big win in this one, and the under 6.5. Let me just make sure that total hasn't adjusted. Yeah, it's under 6.5 still. I think you can definitely go to that. I think this is a 4-0 win here for the Washington Capitals, and I might actually put that in as an exact score in this one, because I think it's going to be just a runaway for the Capitals. Okay, the next game, you guys, we have quite the battle on the ice. This is at 7 o'clock Eastern, you guys. This one, I cannot wait for. The Boston Bruins taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I stepped in front of the Boston Bruins in that matchup versus the Rangers. I didn't expect them to roll into the Garden so freaking hot. They did exactly what I didn't want them to do. They kept rolling hot. Can they keep rolling hot here against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who they have struggled against? They've lost their last 6 in Toronto. This Toronto team, though, you guys, I don't trust them to save my life. If I was drowning, I wouldn't expect them to throw a rope. I can't see them saving themselves in here. Now, they're coming in here, the Boston Bruins, as a dog. Everyone's on them, so it scares me. Plus 112 on that money line, minus 134 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. These teams are totally different teams. The Boston Bruins are just so strong offensively, averaging 4.45 goals per game, first overall in the league, 35.8 shots, versus the Toronto Maple Leafs that are only averaging 2.91, haven't hit over that 3 on average, and 32.6. I understand on paper there's talent with this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Defensively, they are strong. They're limiting opponents to 28.4 shots on goal and 2.91 goals per game. But we look at the Boston Bruins. I think their defense is better. They're only allowing that 2.55 and 30.6 shots on goal. So they are allowing more shots on goal, but they're the stronger team here. Now, the Bruins are on a roll. They've won their last 7. They're 10-1 on the season, 4-1 on the road, 8-3 on that puck line, 4-1 on the puck line on the road. The Toronto Maple Leafs 5-4 on the season, 4-1 at home. So home ice is huge for this team. But on that puck line, 2-9 on the puck line, 1-4 on the puck line at home. I don't trust them. You're giving me plus money with the Boston Bruins here. I don't get it. It feels like a trick. Now, I will take the Boston Bruins in the first period. I think they come strong out of the gate in this first period. Keep rolling with their momentum. You're getting some plus money for the Boston Bruins in the first period. The only way I could take this game would be the Boston Bruins straight up for the win. And, the only reason I can see why Toronto is a favorite in this one is because the Boston Bruins have struggled in Toronto. But I think this team is so complete right now. One of the best teams in the NHL. The Maple Leafs is struggling to find the back of the net. It will be so hard to find the back of the net on Omar. He's expected here for the Boston Bruins. So give me the Boston Bruins to pull off the win. I'll take them with that plus money. If this is a game they're going to lose, I could see it because they do struggle in Toronto, but I'm not willing to put any money on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, you guys, we got so many games on the board. We got so much plus money that we can go after too. The Buffalo Sabres are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning here. Now, I'm checking odds, make sure they're not updated. Now, the Lightning are minus 210 here on the money line, plus 178 for the Buffalo Sabres with a total of 6.5. Comrie expected for Comrie. I always say Comrie. I used to have a business named Comrie. Comrie expected here for the Buffalo Sabres. He's got a 3.29 goals against average. Elliott confirmed for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's got a 3.35 goals against average. Now, offensively, this Buffalo Sabres team is completely rolling this season. They're second overall in the league for goals per game at 4.18 goals per game, 32.4 shots on goal. So they're really hitting this goal nicely. They're allowing 3 goals per game and 31.8 shots on goal. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning rolling in here, averaging 3.18 and 30.7 shots on goal and allowing 3.9 and 32. The Sabres, I think, are a live dog in this, and I can't believe we're getting them at beautiful plus money. I'd take them plus 1.5 here. You're getting that at minus 125. I'd sprinkle on that money line. I also like their team total over 2.5 because if they're going to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's going to be because they scored here. I don't think this would be a defensive win for them. I think it'd be an offensive win for them. Now, the Lightning have struggled versus teams with winning records above 600, going 2-5 in their last 7. We look at the Buffalo Sabres. They are one of these teams with such a strong winning record. They're 7-3 on the season, 3-1 on the road. They're strong on that puck line, 7-3 on the puck line and 3-1 on the road. Yes, granted, they have been in the situation where they've been the underdog to cover that puck line. Underdog again here, covering the puck line. I really do see it happening. I think we got a higher scoring one in this one as well for the Buffalo Sabres to keep this tight and possibly pull off the upset. It has to be a higher scoring game. They have to get these goals in, or the pucks in the back of the goal of Elliott. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to come out nice and strong. Now, the last time these two teams, I'll caution you, did come out, the Tampa Bay Lightning got a shutout win. That was last April. It was 5-0. They completely shut down the Sabres. But this isn't the same Buffalo Sabres team this year at all. So give me the Buffalo Sabres plus 1.5, but I think they're a live dog. I'm sprinkling on that money line. You guys know, though, I'm a sucker for that plus money. I think their team total over 2.5 is live as well, and the over for the game. The Philadelphia Flyers are then taking on the Ottawa Senators. This is 7 p.m. Eastern in this one, let me update the odds. Plus 150 for the Philadelphia Flyers, minus 182 for the Sens. Total of 6.5. Now, Carter Hart expected here for the Philadelphia Flyers. We know he's been absolutely phenomenal so far this season. He's been completely standing on his head. Cam Talbot expected for the Ottawa Senators. Now, he will get his first official start here with the Sens. We did see him come out Thursday after Forsberg let in all of those goals, and he had, I believe it was 13 shots on him. He was able to stop all 13. Now, I really like what we saw out of Cam Talbot when he was with the Minnesota Wild. He's come over to the Sens for this season. He had a 2.76 goals against average against him when he played for the Wild. I think he comes out strong in this one. We've seen the ability of Carter Hart to come out strong as well and stand on his head. This total, it's still at 6.5. I'm shocked it hasn't moved down to 6. It's mind-blowing for me. I think both of these goalies are going to play incredible in this game. I'm going to take the under 6.5 in this one. The under is so strong for the Flyers here on the road. 5-2 in their last 7 road games to that under. 4-0 in their last 4 games, coming in on 2 days rest, which they're in right now. And for the Senators, they have trended so highly to that over with this team getting the goals as of late. But versus the Met, they are 12-3-2 in their last 17 to that under. It's going to be a hard game here. I really do think it's lower scoring. I really do think these defenses both step up in the way that we expect. The goaltending here is phenomenal. The problem is the defenses. Now, especially the defense for the Senators is what could push this one over. They're allowing 3.6 goals per game and 34.3 shots on goal. I want to see the Sens defense really have a strong day here versus the Flyers. They have covered the puck line in their last 8 games versus the Philadelphia Flyers. So we've seen the Senators come out strong. I think defensively is where we're going to see their strength again in this one. So give me the under 6.5. I would be looking at both Carter Hart and Cam Talbot for their save shots on goal. I think both of these goalies have a solid day in this one. Both of these offenses, we know the Flyers aren't getting those shots on goal. They're being limited to 26.3. So I'd really be looking at, if Cam Talbot's numbers are lower, be looking at his, maybe I can pull it up. Let me just open my book here and see what I can get for these goalie props. Hopefully they're up. I didn't have them up before I started the show here, but let's look, because I can't wait to bet these ones. These are 2 goalies that I'm looking at betting, and I'm still not, let me just see. Yeah, I'm still not getting these block shots on goal for either of these goalies. But you guys, I'm interested to see, with the Philadelphia Flyers only getting 26.3 shots on goal on average, and the Sens allowing that 34.3. If Cam Talbot comes out around 28 save shots on goal, I would absolutely hit it to the over. Now, if Carter Hart comes out here, we know the Sens are averaging 31.9 shots on goal. The Philadelphia Flyers are allowing 36.7. If we see Carter Hart coming in here around 30 to 32, I would still take it over. At 33.5, I wouldn't take that one over. So all the best. That's my thoughts on these ones. Can't wait to see what these props come out as. Let's move on to the next game, you guys. The Seattle Kraken taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, the Penguins are 4-5-2 on the season. This team had so much hopes for them. The Kraken, the opposite. No one had high hopes for the Kraken. They're coming out here playing so strong. They're 6-4-2 on the season so far, 8-4 on that puck line, making us money on the puck line, 5-1 on the puck line on the road. I got to take them here to keep making us money. This team has made us so much on the puck line. Plus 1.5 on that puck line is minus 140. I think there's great value there. They won the last matchup. This was just October 28th or 29th. They won that matchup 3-1. They played a phenomenal game. I think we got another probably lower scoring game here. I'm not going to bet the total. I'm just going to take the Seattle Kraken plus 1.5 at minus 140. The Penguins' last 8 home games have gone over the total. So I could see why you could lean over. I don't love the total here, you guys. Just give me the Seattle Kraken. Release the Kraken. You're right. Early game. What is the early game sitting at right now? That one is kicking off in 2 minutes. That one should be good. Okay, let's move on. I was hoping it had started. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I'm a little cautious with this game. Vegas is the stronger team. Automatically, when I looked at this, I wanted to take the Vegas Golden Knights on the puck line at -1.5. There's not the greatest value here. They're coming in here at minus, let me make sure it hasn't updated yet, -205 on that money line. So unbettable there, +168 for the Montreal Canadiens. I just don't know if I'm going to take this one to the window. I really want to take the Vegas Golden Knights here for a nice big win. Logan Thompson has been phenomenal for them. He's got a 2.01 goals against average. Their defense is #1 overall in the league for allowed goals at 1.92. They're limiting shots to 29.8. I think Montreal is in trouble in this one. They struggle, but we see Vegas go into Montreal and have shown their struggles. Yes, this team in other cases haven't been as healthy, haven't been as strong. They've gone 2-5 in their last 7 meetings in Montreal. I want to throw that out the window. I also want to throw the stat of 9-3 to the underdog in the last 12 meetings. I want to throw that out the window. I look at Montreal. They're returning here off a home or off a road trip, not a home trip. You can't, well, I guess you can have a home trip, but off a road trip. They went 2-2 on that road trip. This is game 3 of a 5-game road trip for the Vegas Golden Knights. They've won their last 6 games. I think I have to keep rolling with Vegas on that puck line at -1.5 for, I'm getting it around +115 right now. Again, shop your lines, you guys, over at BetStamp. Use referral code Madden. Make sure you always get the best value. I just can't go against the Vegas Golden Knights in this one. Jake Allen expected for the Montreal Canadiens. He's got a 2.88 goals against average. His team is just allowing too many goals. They're allowing 3.09 and 32.6 shots on goal. Vegas has just been so solid. It would be the puck line for Vegas or nothing in this one for me. Okay, next one, you guys. The Nashville Predators taking on Vancouver Canucks. The Preds coming in here as the dog at -102. The Canucks -120. Total still sitting at 6.5. Saros expected here for the Preds. Demko expected for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Demko has had his issues so far this season. He's got a 4.06 goals against average. Now, I think this one comes down to which team can stay out of the box. Penalties are killing both of these teams. The Nashville Predators are averaging 11.2 minutes per game in the box. Vancouver averaging that 12.2. Now, Vancouver's strong on that power play. We see the Nashville Predators strong on the power kill. But we look at the power kill for Vancouver, they're not doing a good job. So if Vancouver gets these penalties like we've seen, Nashville is going to capitalize on that. So I think this game comes down to how clean of a game the Vancouver Canucks can play here. If the Predators get under their skin, if they get those penalties, the Predators pull off this win. So I'm not going to take a side in this one. I think Saros is a better goalie coming into this matchup playing for the Nashville Predators. Vancouver has the edge offensively, though. I think they're the stronger team. And defensively, both of these teams are shooting themselves in the foot, with the Vancouver Canucks allowing 4.09 goals per game. Defensively, 32.8 shots on goal. Predators allowing 32.2 and 3.27 goals per game. So whoever plays the cleaner game, but I think I would lean to the over in this one. Again, not sure if this one is one that will make my card. If you like the over, I would look at the Preds team total. Yeah, it's too highly juiced. Over 2.5 is -160. So I'm not going to touch that. The underdog has been strong between these two teams, going 5-1 in the last 6 meetings. So there is value here on the Predators. The Predators win if Vancouver plays a dirty game and spends their time in the penalty box. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think the over is probably the play in that one. The New Jersey Devils taking on my Calgary Flames. This one kicks off at 10 o'clock Eastern. Calgary coming in at -172 on the money line. Huge favorite over the New Jersey Devils. This is going to be a freaking long day. Hard game for my Calgary Flames. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. Not going to lie. I faded Calgary in the last game. Got the win. I hated doing it. You guys sat here with me. I hate going against my Calgary Flames. We've lost the last 3 games. We're now facing the New Jersey Devils, who are so hot right now. Won their last 5 games. I don't know if Calgary can pull this one off. Vanek expected in goal. He's got a 2.06 goals against average. Jacob Markstrom expected for the Calgary Flames, 2.68. Offensively, both of these teams are so strong. I give the edge to the Devils. They're getting more shots on goal. They're averaging 39.5 shots on goal, which is second overall in the league. 3.64 goals per game. Calgary's only coming in here averaging 3.22 and 36.9 shots on goal. Defensively, I give the edge to the New Jersey Devils. This is killing me. Can you guys hear me? It's like killing me to say right now. The Devils rolling in here, allowing an average of only 2.55 goals per game and holding opponents to, are you ready for this? 23.2 shots on goal. This team is doing phenomenal, getting those block shots. They're not allowing their goaltender to be exposed in situations. They're doing phenomenal. So I think the edge goes on both sides of the puck to the New Jersey Devils. We're getting them here at plus 142 for the team that is rolling hot. Now, the only problem is, though, when the Devils roll into Calgary, they're 0-4 in the last 4 meetings in Calgary. They're also 5-16 in the last 21 meetings overall versus the Calgary Flames. Calgary is due for a bounce back. They've lost their last 3 games. We know how strong Calgary is. They're limiting teams to 27.9 shots on goal. They are allowing that 3.22. There has been some games where they've just let it go. Now the favorite has been strong in this matchup, going 7-1 in the last 8 meetings. Oh, you guys, this is a hard one for me. I would lean on that over. Either way, both of these offenses are playing so strong. Because the Devils are the dog in this one, the Devils team total is sitting at 2.5. Hitting it over, I'm getting around minus 140. I do like that over. I definitely see them getting these 3 goals. I think that's the only way I'm going to take this. I really don't want to go against Calgary in this one. I think that they're due for a bounce back. I like the trends on how they play the Devils in Calgary. But Calgary here on the money line is too highly juiced at minus 172. We know they haven't been blowing teams out of the water at home on that puck line, going 2-6 on the puck line at home, 3-6 on the puck line overall. They're 5-4 on the season. Devils rolling in here 8-3 on the season, 4-1 on that puck line, 4-1 on the puck line on the road. No value on the puck line for the Devils today. So I'm going to take the Devils team total over 2.5 at minus 140. I also think there's value in the over 6.5. All 4 of the last 4 meetings have gone to that over. I know this total is high, but I could see it going over 6.5. I think this is a 4-3 win. I think this one goes to overtime. Actually, you know what? What is the value here of going to overtime? I have to say, you guys, first, thank you for watching Puck It with Joe. And secondly, I love doing a Puck It with Joe. Interact in the chat. And you know why? Because some of my best bets come out of talking to you guys here, talking these games out with you guys. We've already got goalie props for Jacob Markstrom. He has a save shots on goal at 29.5 save shots on goal. Now, with Calgary is allowing 27.9. We see the Devils coming in here so strong, averaging 39.5 shots on goal. This is going to be a really interesting one to see how many shots on goal the New Jersey Devils can get against the Calgary Flames. I would give them at least 32 shots on goal with him coming in here at 29.5, 32. This is really tight to that over. The over for Jacob Markstrom shots on goal is minus 118. I think I'm going to hit it to the over. I'm going to put it in as soon as we're done here. Well, I do think it's a high-scoring game. We know the Devils can get these shots, and they will be flying tonight, both of these teams up and down the ice. So I like it at minus 118, Jacob Markstrom to the over. Now, let's look at this one to go to overtime. This is what I think is going to happen in this game. I think we're going to have a 3-3 game going to that overtime. To go to overtime, it is plus 340. You guys know I'm sprinkling with that plus money in this one. Okay. It's gonna be lights out. You know which other game has the possibility of going to overtime as well? The Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. If the Leafs step up in this one could go to overtime, and then of course the Boston Bruins win because they have the better goalie with Ullmark there. Okay, so we've done the Calgary Flames, we've done the New Jersey Devils. Let's move on, you guys. We have only 2 more games for everyone who's stuck around for the last 37 meetings. I see you. Thank you for sticking around with me. Now, the Anaheim Ducks taking on the San Jose Sharks. I don't know many people who are excited to watch this game. San Jose sitting 3-8 on the season. The Anaheim Ducks 3-7. I'm not excited. The Ducks have the edge here, you guys. John Gibson expected for them. He's got a 4.58 goals against average. This team has the worst defense overall in the league, but we've seen the Ducks play the San Jose Sharks strong. The Sharks have lost each of their last 8 games versus the Western Conference opponents. The Sharks are 0-5 in the last 5 with teams with winning records below 400, so they don't play hard against the losing teams either. We've got goaltending, defensive issues on both sides of the puck. This is a game I want nothing to do with. We got a total of 7. Expecting these offenses to get something going when neither team is averaging over 3 goals per game. I just can't get there, you guys. The value's on the Ducks with how well they play against the Sharks. But I'm not betting this. If you want to bet it, I would lean on the Ducks because you're getting plus money. It's the only reason, because they do roll in and play strong. The road teams being strong between these two, going 7-3 in the last 10. But the Sharks need to get something going and could get something going here at home. So I don't love it. Let's move on. Last game on the board. There's always one game. You got 14 games on the ice. There's always one game you don't love. Last game on the board, we have the Florida Panthers taking on the LA Kings. Now, Jonathan Quick coming out here for the Kings. He's got a 3.26 goals against average. Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers, he's got a 3.02. Now, the Panthers are coming in here averaging 3 goals per game, and they're getting these shots on goal. They're number 1 team overall for getting the shots on goal at 39.9 shots on goal. They are allowing, though, defensively, I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Panthers. They're allowing 3.09 and 28.6. I had higher hopes for this team. Yes, they are 6-4 on the season, but rolling in here as a minus 130 favorite over the LA Kings, I just can't get there. Panthers on the road, LA Kings at home in this one. Jonathan Quick, I like what we've seen out of him. I think him and Bobrovsky are around the same level of goaltenders. I know Bobrovsky is off to a little bit of a better start this season, but I think we've got similar goaltending here. The edge, I guess, for the shots on goal does go to the Panthers, but we still have the Kings coming in here averaging 3.31 goals per game and 33 shots on goal. Defensively, they're allowing that 3.77 and 30.6 shots on goal. I got to roll with the home dog in this one. They lost their last 2 games. They didn't come out strong enough offensively. They were limited by the Chicago Blackhawks. I think that's why we're seeing them as such a dog here at home. But we look at the Panthers and, like, their last game, they played a terrible team. They played the San Jose Sharks. They had to go to a shootout to get that win there. I'm not buying in on the Panthers. They're 2-9 on that puck line on the season, 1-6 on the puck line on the road. They've also struggled in LA, going 2-10 in their last 12 meetings in LA, 7-19 in their last 26 meetings overall. I think this is the LA Kings day all day. Give me the home dog. I also like the under in this one. I think the total's too high. I think the defenses come out strong in this one. You guys, that was all 14 games. You ready to build a parlay? Because I am ready to build a parlay and then drink some coffee and go shovel the 3 feet of snow that the next door neighbor or the neighbor's kid that shoveled my walk left. So I paid him $10 though. I just don't know how he missed out 3 feet. Okay. The Islanders game and the Detroit game has already kicked off, so we're not going to include that. Again, if you're wanting to live bet that one, I did take the Islanders. Yeah, that one is kicking off right away. Okay, so the Colorado Avalanche and the Columbus Blue Jackets. What I'm going to do, you guys, I'm going to recap and my best bet for the parlay at the same time. It's just more efficient. So the Colorado Avalanche and the Columbus Blue Jackets, recap on this one. I like the over 6.5. I think that is phenomenal way to take this. The Blues team total, if you can get value, over 2.5. I'm also going to take the Blues on the puck line plus 1.5 and sprinkle on them to get the outright win here with their goalie being a native in Finland. I like the storyline. I think that they can get this done. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Blues team total. I feel the best about that, over 2.5 for the parlay. Now, for the parlays, when you're putting these in, if you want to go with the over 2, we're building a 13-leg parlay today, so I wouldn't blame you for going for the 2 instead of the 2.5. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Winnipeg Jets, I think the best bet and the only bet that I really like in this one is to take the under 6. The Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. Now, like I said, you guys, this is going to be an incredible game here, out here on the ice. I'm only going to prop bet this. I think you can look at Connor McDavid's anytime goals. He's got 12 goals so far this season. He's absolutely flying out there. Anytime goal for Connor McDavid is minus 102. I do like that. This is going to be a phenomenal game on the ice. I just can't get behind the Edmonton Oilers at minus 162 on the money line. It's too much juice. I think Zach Hyman's shots on goal over 3.5 at plus money, plus 126 is the best way to take this. Now, if I'm looking for the best bet for the parlay, I would take Edmonton. I struggle to take Edmonton, but I do think Edmonton pulls it off on their home ice. So, and I take Edmonton on the money line. Just such strong trends towards them to get the win here. Now, the Arizona Coyotes and the Washington Capitals. I think the Capitals on the puck line at minus 1.5 at minus 120 is a phenomenal way to go in this game. I think they come out and dominate over the Arizona Coyotes. I see this being a 4-0 win for the Washington Capitals. For the parlay, because we're building a 13-leg parlay, I'll just take Washington straight up for the win. You can take them on the puck line if you want as well. I just don't want to risk the parlay with that puck line. Now, the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. For me, it's the Boston Bruins or nothing in this one at plus 112 on that money line. I think they also come out strong in that first period. I don't love the total of 7 in this. So that's where I'm leaning for all the bets in this one. If I was to put this in the parlay, which I will, I'm going to take the Bruins and hope that they don't disappoint me in that first period, just on the money line in the first period. I think they come strong out of the gate. The Buffalo Sabres and the Tampa Bay Lightning, you guys. I think Buffalo is a live dog here. I'm going to, for the parlay, grab them plus 1.5 in the parlay. And I'm going to, for my overall betting, I'm sprinkling on that money line. I think they have a strong game. I also like them to come out here and get their team total over 2.5. Actually, instead of putting them in the parlay at plus 1.5, let's put Buffalo's team total over 2.5. Because if they're to win this, they have to come out and get those goals. Now, the Philadelphia Flyers and the Ottawa Senators, this game is going to be phenomenal. Oh, that is a game that I was going to look at some goalie props as well. Let's see if those have been updated, because I really do want to bet some goalie props in this one. Just give me 1 second here to pull it up, you guys. We have goalie props. Cam Talbot over 26.5 save shots on goal is minus 106, and Carter Hart over 29.5. Okay, let's look at this. So Carter Hart over 29.5 save shots on goal. We're looking at the Ottawa Senators averaging 31.9 shots on goal, and the Flyers allowing 36.7. I think the Senators are going to get the shots on Carter Hart in this one. Over 29.5 is minus 118. I'm going to hit it. I expect the Ottawa Senators to get at least, with how many shots the Flyers are giving up defensively, at least 36 shots on goal. So I'm going to hit Carter Hart. No, Cam Talbot over 26.5 save shots on goal, and Carter Hart over 29.5. Over 29.5. Yeah, I think both of these goalies have a phenomenal day. Stand on their heads. Both of these teams are allowing these shots on goal. Philadelphia Flyers are being limited to their shots on goal at 26.3, but I do think both of these goalies go over. I want to see both of these defenses step up, but I do still expect these shots on goal to come in. And I think the best bet for this parlay is to take that under. I'm going to take the Flyers and the Sens under 6.5. Good morning, Todd. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Okay. The Seattle Kraken and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I can't trust this Penguins team, you guys. I've got to roll with the Seattle Kraken plus 1.5 with a sprinkle on that money line. I think it's the only way to take this game. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Kraken plus 1.5. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens. I think Vegas comes out and steamrolls the Montreal Canadiens. The only way I could take this would be Vegas on that puck line minus 1.5 at plus 115. For the parlay, I'm going to throw Vegas on the money line in here because they have struggled in Montreal and I don't want them to kill my parlay. The Nashville Predators and the Vancouver Canucks. This one, I think the Predators team total over 2.5 has value for our parlay. I do see them coming out and getting these goals on the Vancouver Canucks. Demko just hasn't been standing on his head. So for the parlay, I'm going to take that there. But again, I think this game comes down to if the Vancouver Canucks can play a clean game, they win it. If they can't play a clean game, it's hard to say, I don't know why, then we're going to see them in the penalty box and the Predators take the win here. So it's going to be an interesting game. Vancouver has to stay disciplined if they want to win. I'm not going to take a side. Good morning, Dave. You guys go give Dave from Picks from Dave a follow. Great guy out there to follow. Okay, so the Preds team total, the New Jersey Devils and the Calgary Flames. I hate this. The Devils have the edge, both sides of the puck. I think the over is a strong play here, the over 6.5. I do think this one probably goes to overtime. I do like the value in going to overtime. I like Jacob Markstrom for his save shots on goal to the over. The Devils team total, I think, is the best and the safest bet to put in our parlay. So I'm going to take the Devils team total over 2.5 in our parlay. That's minus 140, but for parlay reasons, I think it's a great way to go. And even for straight up, I will do hockey up to minus 144 on that juice. So the Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks, you guys, we're not putting this in our parlay. I hate this game. There's always one game that we don't like. The edge, I think the value is on the Ducks plus 122 here versus the San Jose Sharks. Both of these teams are absolutely terrible. Both have terrible defenses. I can't trust either team, so I don't like it. The LA Kings and the Florida Panthers. I love the Kings here as the dog at home. Give me the plus money with the Kings. I also think this is a lower scoring one. Better not bite me in the foot. We know some of these lower scoring games have been what have wrecked my parlay, but I'm going to go with the Preds and the Kings under 6.5 for this one. Okay, guys, let's recap that parlay for anyone just coming in. The Blue Jackets, the Columbus Blue Jackets, I've got their team total over 2.5. The Chicago Blackhawks game, I have under 6. We've got the Edmonton Oilers on the money line over the Dallas Stars. I'm not as comfortable about this one, but that's where I'm going. The Washington Capitals on the money line for the parlay. Okay, this is a parlay. I would never take the Washington Capitals straight up on that money line unless it's in a parlay. The Bruins in the first period on the money line. The Buffalo Sabres plus or over 2.5 for their team total. The Flyers game over 6.5. No, under 6.5. I wrote that wrong when I put it down. There's no way. That's with the Senators. We're going to take goalie props and everything. That's going to be a phenomenal game. The Kraken plus 1.5 to keep that tight. Vegas on the money line. The Preds team total over 2.5. The Devils over 2.5. And the Preds and the Kings. Why did I write Preds? The Panthers and the Kings. I was like, the Panthers are not playing the Kings. Panthers and the Kings under 6.5. So if you want to know which bets of these bets that I'm feeling the most confident about, I think the most confident is, I love the Kraken here, plus 1.5. I love the Flyers and the Sens under 6.5. I love the Bruins in that first period. Don't let me down. And I think the Washington Capitals on the puck line today is my favorite bet. So you guys, that's what I've got. I'm excited for this. And the Columbus Blue Jackets. Give me the Columbus Blue Jackets here. Their team total over 2.5. I love. Them on the puck line. I love. Them to get the money line win. I love. They're going to disappoint me because I just said I loved all three things. You guys, thanks for joining me for Pocket with Joe. Appreciate you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. It's Saturday. It's 11:24 here. Gonna go watch some hockey and some college football and drink more coffee because it's cold. And I'm gonna shovel that piece of walk. You guys, let me know what you're doing today. Also, below this video, let me know what games you're betting on the ice, which games you like of this parlay that we built, which games are your favorite of the day, and which games are going to be the ones where I shake my head and ask if I was crazy. You guys have a great day. Keep smiling, and let's make some fucking money.